Hey guys, this is Acrillics. You're watching Behind the Banger for our new track, Resin. Robo, you want to go ahead or do you want me to do the spiel?
You got the spiel pretty good.
Yeah, so basically we met through a mutual friend while I was studying abroad at Otago in Dunedin. And we met basically a week later. We threw like a house party, which was really fun. We basically broke Rob's entire flat, blew up the speaker, and then like the next week we just decided to work on some music, and then we spent the next 3 months like hiding our way in our flats in Dunedin. It was really, really cold.
Yeah.
Just made the whole EP.
Yeah, we basically just like straight away we're like, let's just make an EP this semester and like it'll be a little challenge. And we sort of ended up making it happen, which was cool.
Yeah, and then sort of the day before I left to go back to the States, we ended up having our first headlining show together in Welly.
Yeah, we were both sort of DJing at the time mostly. Like, I think I'd been producing a little bit, but I was just sort of making the odd track for fun. It was more about shows at the time, I think. But it was funny, like as soon as we met, we were both like, oh yeah, I've been wanting to get more into producing and making like, some classic sort of tracks or like house as well and just stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's sort of,
Yeah, we basically just both DJed, like I was in the frat in uni, so, and Rob was in the flat in Dunedin, which is basically the same thing. Just DJing shows, and then we had both, done some prod just separately, and then kind of just really clicked, and we're like, oh, this is a cool opportunity to like actually spend some more time doing it. It honestly is like so bad because it was my worst semester in all of uni.
Yeah, I think it was mine as well, actually. When
everyone else goes to study abroad, they like, that's their best best uni because they have the least classes, or I don't know, maybe least distractions. Yeah. But for me, literally the worst ever.
Yeah, I think pretty much the same for me because we would like, I don't know how often we were probably like 5 days of the week we were like producing. We'd meet up, like we would meet up and just do like these marathon production sessions.
My
for
flat
like 7 hours. Yeah, that's why.
And then, but we didn't have any monitors or anything, so it was just the two laptops. So basically, we would work on two tracks simultaneously and just switch the laptops between, like back and forth.
We'd just try and come up with an idea each and swap it back.
And back then, I had no idea how to make anything but house drums, and so Rob taught me how to make basically trap and bass drums, and then he would do all the drums pretty much the first year, and I'd do all because I come from like a classical piano background, and then I would make all the chords and the sound design. And now things have not really switched, but then more like 50-50 now.
We'll come up with a drop or a break or something, or just some cool sound, and then as soon as one of us gets stuck, we throw it to the other person, and then could you get anything? Nah, okay, scrap it, or like we'll try it again in 3 months. You know what I mean? So I think that's why Resin throw ideas back. Yeah, I think so, because but I think I started on it and I had that art sort of thing, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, but I don't know what to do for the drop, and we sort of just left it for a bit. I'm pretty sure. Andro's very good at like time zones. He seems to always be able to reply.
I don't know.
And he's usually the one on the admin side, so because he's always on the email. He's always like seeing them come up quickly, and he seems I
have this problem that I cannot not reply to a message when I get it. Like it's a blessing and a curse though, because like I'll be stressing about something else and someone will message me and I have to reply. So it just makes it worse. But I love working with Rob, and it's fine. And like Rob will wake up every morning in New Zealand to like 7 messages from me.
Pretty much.
Especially if I've spent like the afternoon working on music, I'll be like, yo, this works really well. And then be like an hour later, and Rob's obviously sleeping because it's 4 a.m. Yo, I did something like this, and then so on. And then Rob will just like wearing through. But with the admin stuff, we've recently had a lot of help from Electric Hawk too.
That's true. We get to offset a lot of that. Yeah, so that's really helpful.
When we signed up with Electric Hawk last March, Robbo? No. You were
was.
You were in LA.
It might have been like, I think it was February actually.
Yeah, because you were still in LA.
Yeah.
and then Honora, our manager, and Josh have just really helped us with a lot of admin stuff too, like social media and connections and so on. So that's helped focus, let us focus a bit more time on the actual production stuff. Honestly, I never was like, oh, I should find another dude to work with because I know more rich and so on. I've actually like to think of myself as pretty independent normally, but it just works really well and it's fun. But never with the mindset, oh, Rob has 500 of the Facebook friends that can like my page.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it just sort of happened when we were both learning and we're both trying to get into that production zone where now it's just sort of normal. Like it just works really well, so we kept doing it. Really, we spent a long time trying to find a name. It was terrible.
That's the only thing we actually sat down and consciously thought about, rather than starting a new project and making music. And we actually spent a good 2 weeks of 3 hours every day drinking with mates trying to come up with a name.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. But
we were I can't remember if we were pretty sure with Acrillics once it came up if we were going to stick with it, but I think kind of did.
We liked the sound and the sort of, it has that paint context, like Acrillics, and it just feels kind of like a flowy name. I don't know. We thought it'd be kind of fun for artwork.
But I mean, originally it comes from the RL Grime remix of Tonight.
Yeah,
it's what we were inspired by, I guess.
That was the inspiration. Yeah, we were going sort of off that sort of vibe. But yeah, names are funny. They're really hard to decide on because it's just sort of weird. We've sort of been trying to work on that lately, our sort of art and that art side of our brand. Because we never really focused on that too much at the start.
Yeah, I mean, even now we're trying to more uniform art, but I don't know. We put most of our effort into just the music, really. But yeah, pretty much. I mean, we've tried to basically just keep it to. If you look at our recent tracks that we've really liked, like Excess, Resin, the ones that are some of our favorite releases, that melodic key, basic beats, but got some, fun percussion in there as well, stuff. But don't know. Yeah, no specific one thing. I guess we just haven't thought about that really that much.
Yeah, we're sort of trying to maybe get that into a different, we're trying to sort of build up what our art is supposed to be, and get that sort of image going, but we haven't really focused on it.
Waiting for that to happen naturally.
yeah, pretty much. That's sort of our primary goal, is to get to the point where we could pull off a tour and being obviously on the same tour together doing it.
Yeah, mainly just because it would be so much fun.
Yeah, because
it's. I mean, it would be really cool to not have to do it over that much distance. But we both have our own stuff outside Acrillics as well that we care about, find interesting. Almost career-wise. So we're not too worried about. But I don't know, a summer tour every year. I doubt Rob would complain if we did that.
Yeah, no, that would be. The dream is just to get one decent, tour where we're both on it. And just because we just have so much fun vibing off each other when we're playing, it's like the old days when we started off.
I was a Logic man, if you can believe it, before I met Rob, and Rob taught me Ableton in a weekend.
Yeah,
God,
it's a long door to learn though. It's such a. I still learn things now, and I've been working in Ableton for I don't know. I first used Ableton when I was it's probably 7 years ago. It's crazy.
I mean, so Acrillics has been up
maybe longer
for 4 years and 4 months. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
But Ableton's just endless, man. It just really is endless.
And just even just the stock plugins are just so good. It's so nice. You just have a huge mission and not have to worry about CPU most of the time.
For me, it's just like, for me, it's the resampling stuff you can take with a sample and just, you know, I mean, you can make, I don't know, you can make a snare or clap into any single sound you want. It's just right. And I do some like mixing on the side for other projects, and Ableton just makes that so easy as well.
I've always used Ableton. I did like a sonic design course back in high school, and I had this really rad teacher who like brought in old synths and like Moogs, and we used to be able to like do like the patch lead actual hardware work, and it was so cool. And he got us all into Ableton, because from the get-go he was like, okay, we're using this plugin because it records hardware well. I think because Ableton, you know how a lot of those old synth dudes use Ableton to like record, because it's just really easy with the processing. And so I don't know what year it was. It was probably, I think it was actually 2013, I think. So yeah, that's when I started using Ableton. There's
one probably 80% of our songs, there's a laugh somewhere.
Yeah, we always put a laugh somewhere, like
not
either
always,
panned out or just really low.
You won't be able to always hear it. The other thing I always do is like I and you can hear this, I think, in Resin and Access, are like these little samples that I have like panned really hard right and left really quickly, and they sound kind of like almost to throw you off, but almost they kind of work with it. But
on snare rolls and stuff like that a lot.
You know, I at least, I mean, Rob uses a slightly more external plugins than I do, but I'm stock plugin all the way, almost, except for synths. Then we pretty much exclusively use Serum.
Yeah. I don't know about tricks. I mean, we've got a lot of different, obviously, techniques for making stuff, but external plugins wise, the Valhalla reverbs are probably one of my favorite things, because just for making like a pad out of a tone is something I love to do. You'll probably hear it in every track we have. I usually would make like a really huge, not so much dry wet, but the size, and just have a huge expanded out, like say a snare, and put a huge room, and make it basically into a pad, and then bring that into a sampler and then repeat it, and just make a tonal underlay for the whole track in key. So it just stays in that same key the whole track basically. And it just adds like I think it kind of gives, a lot of our tracks sort of have that like eerie sound to them because of that probably. It has that sort of like dark kind of like groaning tone through the whole track. It'll just be this like really low down. So it's more of like it's like a backdrop in the track, but because it's usually completely like low in the mix and it's sort of panned out weird. So, but that's a trick we use a lot, it's kind of like adding white noise just to fill the frequency. It's basically doing the same thing, but it's more tonal.
Yeah, I mean, without Splice, we wouldn't be able to work.
That's how we first got onto Splice, because I don't know which, it was probably you, Andro, who saw that, but we saw that way back and we were like, oh wow, okay, we can.
I think it was before they even had samples. Just like
I think that's what they started with. They started with just being able to sync for people who are collaborating. I think that was the whole initial idea. Maybe it was way back, like in 2016 or something. But we found that worked really well, because before that, I think we were thinking of just uploading a project to like Dropbox and then downloading and then re-uploading.
That honestly would have never worked. It would just,
Well, it would work, but it would just take so long. So Splice is really good for us being able to share projects.
Probably would finally have to pay for a Dropbox subscription.
Yeah, actually, it'd get big when there'd be a lot of samples.
But yeah, we like the Splice samples. I mean, it's really nice to be able to search through it properly. That's the one thing I guess Ableton still is lacking. Being able to search through. I mean, it works, but not quite.
You can,
Splice. They're both. I mean, it's neither Rob or I right now, live in or have ever really lived in cities where the music scene is massive. So like the only time was when we were in LA, and we made some really cool connections and friends there. But pretty much everyone except the ones in New Zealand and LA are online, and then so the ones from LA are in person, and the ones around New Zealand.
Both. LA was great because you can just like everywhere you go, there's just producers, and like we'd go to gigs,
Space Yacht,
and like in Hollywood or something, and you'd just meet all these people when you're out back, like chilling, and you'd a lot of it was like would be like on Twitter, like, hey, we're going to this. I think we did a couple of times, Andrew. We were like, hey, we're going to Space Yacht. Who's going to Space Yacht? And we'd just meet up with people there. Well, because we were going there anyway.
Space Yacht was really our go-to when we were there. And we definitely met young blood there and someone else.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. But lately, a lot of it's actually been through organizing mixes or like doing the online shows with COVID.
Oh yeah, streams.
We've actually got to know a lot of artists just through being a part of a bigger, online festival or whatever.
Yeah, through Electric Hawk too, because we also did our own Acrillics and Friends stream in November.
December, yeah.
In with Electric Hawk, and that was really cool because we got like Ashes and Sav from NZ, which is cool, and then we had Rohan and Zeal from Rohan from the UK, Zeal from Canada. So we've made songs with Zeal before and with Ashes too. So it's been nice to like keep those connections growing, even though we actually haven't met in person ever. I'm not sure if there is a future once shows come back, but like I wasn't really like, I don't think I liked them, but then we played a Minecraft show with Matt and Madzu and Mr. Bill, and it was really, really fun. Yeah,
it was actually really. It was pretty rad.
I thought it would be fun, but it was super fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually really fun. Like just being in like that virtual world with like the music, like a set we've done playing behind us. It was weird, but I kind of get it. Like I could see if you're like into gaming and all that, and you were in your favorite game, but you also had like an artist you like playing. I mean, I could see how that would be like really cool. But
neither of us are really big gamers though either. Neither.
We've never really been in that online. Like we've never done online stuff before COVID. Because I know there was those sort of shows happening before. Yeah. But that was that sort of Minecraft show that we did with Madzu was the first thing I'd never done that before. So it was cool.
Matt had it really well organized too, though. Like the stage was sick, the lighting, they had like things really well organized too. But I don't think I think they'll be around after real shows come back, but probably not as less. I think I get tired of them quite quickly. Like, one every 3 months is kind of fun, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go or do it every weekend, to be honest. And I've learned this from Rob. Rob's definitely the more perfectionist in me. I try to like push tracks out faster, but it honestly it helps when you get rejected by 2 labels before you get accepted by 3, because then you can like wait on it, sit on a bit more, see what other people think that aren't your friends. So I'll have like purely objective feedback. So and there's no rush to it. I always thought you had to like pump tracks out or like just stuff like that, but I think the tracks we've taken the longest on have been the not even the tracks that have done the best, but they've just been the tracks that we've liked the most.
Actually that's probably one. Like when we started, the EP was a bit different because that was our sort of goals, just like smash out an EP, like 5 tracks. We're like, cool. But after that, I'd say like building up like a kind of portfolio, like maybe like 3 tracks or so that that you really like, and then sitting on it for a bit before you decide where you want to go with it. Because I think that's something. I think when we were in LA, I think someone was talking about that to me. That like
probably Stussy or something like that.
Yeah, no, I think it was because I was with. I know we're at some event and some guy was saying was talking to me about it.
This is what our LA was. It was just like going to random events.
Some event. I think it was at JBL. It was like Jaws was doing a talk.
Yeah, that was JBL.
I went there, and he was saying that what he did was he spent a year, he didn't release anything. He just worked on like 12 really good tracks that he knew were good. And then once he'd got the 12 done, like he didn't even start sending the others out, but he knew they were good. He had 12 there. He just had a folder, and he'd email it to all his favorite labels and say, hey, here's like a whole album, or like here's all these tracks, what one do you want? You know what I mean? And then we would just do that with every label. And then you can imagine he just lined up, you know, like all these releases and gave him this big window of really good releases in a row. And I feel like that seems to be a really good method. Like
we started doing that. Yeah.
We've sort of done that last year actually a little bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I'd known that sort of method, even though it's very hard to like, because we were still learning how to produce, and
I think it's something you like
it's probably it's something you'd probably want to do.
Like we started doing it, I think at the right time. Like we had just, I think we like really got our style, really got like what we wanted to do. And so when Rob was LA the first time, we basically had like, since the end of 2019, I think, when Rob came to LA, something like that.
Yeah.
We've always had, at any time, we've always had 3 tracks that are completely ready, and we're happy to release them. That we've been like sitting on, sending to labels, you know, rejected or hearing back from labels, but deciding to wait. Or like working with our management to see what they think. And but at any time we always have at least 3 tracks completely ready and done that could be released any day. And then we have, you know, like we have releases scheduled for later this month, one in March or April. And so we have like a window, we always have like a window of 3 months when we have either releases or, you know, a show or a stream or something. And that gives us
just like to keep the momentum, and
keeps the momentum, but gives us some breathing space personally, where we can, you know, don't worry about what's next, don't worry about really forward planning, basically.
I think that would be a big thing to tell myself back when we started.
It only works once you have
that's the thing actually, because if we had done that back then, we would have had like, you know, 10 tracks that were like pretty average. You're like, sick. Take our tracks, and you're like, oh, it didn't work.
I guess for the first 2 years you don't rush.
It's a bit different. The
first 2 years don't rush, and then for the next, you know.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our episode. You can stream our new track Resin on all platforms now.